Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Something we haven't seen for a little while. I'm going to be doing the next 5 stages of the Deagostini Collectibles release and build the Renault Lotus 97T. So this is Ayrton Senna's Lotus. Now you probably noticed I haven't got the car up here because in the last pack we were working on the engine, and pretty much all the stages that we're going to be doing today, we're going to be continuing on with these engine parts here. Now if you want to get this for yourself, you will have to check if this is available. It's in the video description and there's also a QR code on the screen, but I'm going to jump straight into it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So here we go, this is stage 32. Here's the magazine here. Each stage comes with its own magazine. As you see, we're doing the right bank cylinder head here, getting all the stuff together, just like this. So at the end, it's going to look like that. So open up all the parts from this pack. And I'm going to get my sprue cutters out ready because by the look of it, some of these parts are on a sprue. So first thing I'm going to do is going to be taking this bracket and the top of the cylinder head here, just matching these parts up. So this is going to be sitting on there just like that. It's going to be held in with QP screws. These are silver screws and I need 2 of these. Now turning this upside down just like that, and now I need to cut these from the sprue. Now these are stamped. So the one that says R2 is going to go on this side just here. Push that down into place, which means R1 is just going to be going over to the other side, just like that. So that's how they should look each side. Just zoomed up my camera so it's a little bit easier to look at on the top camera there. All I'm going to do then is close that on with a bracket on this side. So that's going to go on just like that there, and that's held in with EP screws. In the bag, 2 of these going in. One here, and one just this side. Looking good. Then I've got these side pieces here now to put on. So there is a way they go because this one's got a notch at the bottom. So that's going to go just over this one here, which means the other one is going to go on this side over here. And it will only let you put it in a certain way. So that's good. Now on this plate here, I've got this plate to put over. And that's just going to be fitting on just like that there. That's held in once again with EP screws. So one in the top. And one just underneath there. Then I've got this top cover to put on, looking like this. Now I need to make sure it's this way round. You can see on the top camera, that's just going to go over those 2 lugs we can see on the top. Once again, held in with EP screws. Then I'm going to be putting this cover on. See all the decals are on that. That's going to be going on top just like this. And that's just a push in. Just like that there. As you can see, we're pretty much making what we've done here. And then I've got to get my sprue cutters again just to cut off these ignition coils. They do have a D-shaped pattern, so they can only go in one way. I'm just going to push these into the holes. Perfect, so that looks like that. Now I just need a part from the last pack, which was this part here, looking like that. I've got a D-shaped pattern just here on the lug, which is just going to go into the D-shaped hole just there. I'm wiggling that in. It's not going to need glue, it holds itself really tight there. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Now we do have these OP screws left over, so I'm going to keep them safe. So in stage 33, I'm guessing we're going to extend onto that now. This is the magazine. And as you can see, we're doing the right bank crankcase and manifolds. So that's looking like that, pretty much mirroring what we had already done on this one here. So it's going to look like this at the end. Once again, let's get out all the parts from this pack. So I'm going to be putting on the right bank crankcase. This is metal, whereas all this was plastic. This is metal, so it's going to go in this way here. I'm just lining that up with the lugs just there, held in with PP screws. PP. I'm a child. So takes 2 of these. Then I've got these flanges here, which are going to go on the manifold. Here's the manifold here. And I want to make sure that they go on the correct way. So what I'm going to do is just push these on. And when you do put these on, they're going to look like that. But you do want to make sure that the rivets are facing this way, as you can see. Now, all of this is going to be fitting onto these parts just here. just like that there, but they're held in with 3 JP screws. So I'm going to get the middle one in first. Perfect, and then that will enable me to put the other 2 in each side. So when that's in, it's going to look like that. Bring over what we've just been creating here. This is going to be going on this side, just like that there. And it's held in with 2 RP screws. These are silver screws. So one just at the bottom and one just at the top here. So that's locked that into place. All I've got left then is this pivot for the right bank cylinder head going into these 2 holes here. There we go, that slots in. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 34, here's the magazine, looking just like this. And we're going to be doing the right bank crankcase and manifolds. Got some pipes here, putting all of this together. So it's looking like that. The engine certainly coming along, as you can see there. So here is stage 34. Let's get all this open. And the first thing I want is the crankcase top cover. This is metal. And I've got this section here to put in as well. This T section at the end is going to go in the same end as these parts here. So this is going to be going in that way, just like that. It's held in with OM screws. These are silver screws. That's perfect. Okay, we've got a couple of pipes to put in. So the black pipe is going to go onto the nipple just here. I'm just seeing how it fits. It holds itself well. I don't think I'm going to need to glue that. And then I've got the clear pipe here, which I'm going to need to put in because it's quite flexible. I'm going to need to put it in with my tweezers. That's going to go into the nipple just here. I can now put that to one side. We're going to be making the alternator now. So I've got the cap to go on. This has got 2 different size lugs, so it can only go in one way, like that. And then I'm going to be putting the fuel pressure regulator just on top of this. So one part's got nipples on, that goes in the middle. And the top part, again, this is all D-shaped pattern, so you can't get this wrong about which way round it goes. Goes in the top here. Perfect. Now on the nipples that are coming out of, let's get the right side, these 2 front sides, if I'm looking at it like that, I've got these tiny connectors to put in. So one this side, like that, and one this side, like that. Bring over what we just created. As you can see, we've got a arch sort of lug at the bottom there, which is going to match the one that we've got just here. So it's just a case of rocking that into position, and it's going to be held in with an EP screw. So that's in there just like that. Now I want to bring over the left bank crankcase here, and I'm going to be putting this onto this side here in the holes that we can see just there like that. I'm holding that in with these flanged KM screws. And it's going to take 2 of these. That's looking good. And then in a similar way, we're going to be taking the right one that we created, and that's going to be going in this side. Get it the right way around. Just like that. So that's how that's looking. And once again, holding it in with those flange KM screws. And there you go. With all of that in position, that's all there is to do in that stage. In the penultimate stage, stage 35, here's the magazine. We're going to do the ignition distribution. So, fiddly one now. Stage 35, penultimate stage of this pack. We're going to be doing the ignition distributor. So we've got all of these leads here, which we're going to need to feed onto the distributor and then mounting this to the engine we've created. So it's looking like that. So here's everything I need in here. And the first thing I want to do is take this distributor bracket, put the base of the distributor on top, just like this. It has got a keyhole pattern, so I can only go one way, and then I'm going to put the distributor cap just over the top of this, like that, held in from the top with an EP screw. Now, all of these leads are exactly the same size. So what I'm going to do, something different to the instructions, is I have these pins. Now these pins, if you look at them, are really flexible. Got these from Amazon a while ago, but they're perfect for get me cutters out. Cutting just the heads off here. Got my cutters here. Very easy to cut. And I can thread a wire all the way through here. Grab another pin and just push that into the middle. Like that. And this will enable me to bend and shape this, you see. So when I'm putting this on the distributor, I'm going to have one just going on this point here. I'm just going to see how these hold as well. Don't know if I'm going to need to glue these. No, they're going to be okay. And I'll just do the same with the second one. These are available on Amazon. I think they're called jewelry pins. But it says push them through. And it is just going to make it look a bit more tidy when I put it in. Put this one in here. Now I'm going to continue doing that for 2 coming out this side. Just like that. And finally 2 on the other side. And there you go. They're all in place there. So this is going to then attach onto these 2 points just here. So it's going to go on this way round just like that. And that's held in with EP screws. Make that nice and tight in there. And then it's a case of putting these leads in. So this top one here, let's get me tweezers to show you. This is going to be bank 1 here and this is bank 2 here. So bank 1 is going to go onto the ignition coil here. And as you see, I'm able to shape that now because of that metal in there. Bank 2 will be going over to this middle one on this side. Again, I can just shape this around. The next 2 down here are 3 and 4. So number 3, which is on top, will be going into this very far side one over here. Bank 4 will be going onto the top one on this side. And then the last 2, which are 5 and 6 here. 6 being the one that's on the bottom, is going to be going this side. Let's train that round into this plug here, which means 5 is just going into this middle one over here. And there you go. So that's all of those in place. See, it makes it a lot more tidy, I think. All I've got then is this transmission rod here. That's going to be going onto the 2 pins you can see just above that manifold. This way round. So let's get this in. Very hard to get in with the manifold there. I wish we had put this in first, you know. But with some manipulation, you should be able to get that in. Just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage of this pack, stage 36, here's the magazine. Looking like this. We're going to be doing the throttle rod and the engine connectors. A few connectors here that's going to go in. Adding these details here, so by the end, that's how the engine's looking. So everything in here is actually quite tiny, so I'm probably going to leave it in the pack and just take them out one at a time. So I need this rod first. And on this side of the rod, I've got this cap looking like this. It's a D-shaped pattern, so it can only go on one way. So I'm just going to push that into position. Perfect. So that's that one on. And on the other end, I've got this cap. Look, tiny it is. Looking like that. And just push that on that side. So now that's how that's looking. Then I've got these mounts. So I'm just going to get them out. So this one, with 3 nipples coming out of one side, is going to go on this side, next to that red cap we put on. And that's pushed into position. And then the one with 2 nipples on one side is just going to go on the other side here. So quite a detailed little part, that one. Looking like that. Put that to one side and bring the engine back over, because I've got these chrome radiator hoses to put on. Now, there is holes either side here. One in this side, and there's one in the other side. That's where these are going to go. So it's the curvier side that's going to go on this side. Now, there are D-shaped patterns again, so it can only go in one way. And once again, I was kind of hoping that we put these on before we put the distributor on. But it is what it is. Put the other one in the other side. But there you go. That's how they're looking. And then I'm going to be bringing over these that we created in the last pack. So this one here is going into the 3 holes just here. So let's get this one in. So definitely take your time on that. But that's gone in perfect there. I'm now going to just flatten these wires out here. That's looking good. I'm going to put the same one in the other side. And there you go, when they're in, that's looking like that. Pretty impressive, huh? Now, tricky bit, I've got to take the entire throttle rod and I've got to pass this behind this section here. So I'm just going to get this in. And it's going to be fitting. As a matter of fact, let's put this in and I'll show you exactly where it fits. Definitely best to get the bottom lugs in first and then the top ones. So that's in place. As you can see, it's passing behind this section here. And then we're going to be putting this pipe in here. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but if I pass it through the top here, just like this, one end, I got this rotated round, it's going to go into the end of this line here. So as you can see, that end has now gone in there. This was definitely something that would have been easier before we put these on. So the order that these are going in is a little bit weird. The other end, if you have a look on the top here, we've got two nipples on the fuel filter here. We're just going to be putting that on the very closest one. So that is now like that. Got one more pipe here to put in. Smaller one this time, but it's exactly the same way. One side of this is going to be going into the hole just here. I think this one's going to be easier to get in personally. The other side just on the other end of this fuel filter. And there you go, that's that one in as well. So once again, just to show you, in there, and then it's on the fuel, the blue plugs, the fuel filter, which is just behind there. I don't know if you can see that. The last thing to do is to take these fuel lines here, and I'm going to be plugging these into the silver section just above these blue plugs. So one this side, get that in, perfect, and then just one the other side here. Excellent. With that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. That actually got a bit tricky towards the end there, but there is a lot of detail just on what we've created there, as you can see there. Pretty cool. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please click that subscribe button. You'll be notified when the next videos are out. Other than that, take care.